How are you?
I'm doing great, you guys. I'm so pumped for tonight. Message your team and make sure they're jumping on. I know we have some people with overlapping Zooms, so people will probably pop on and off, but we are so excited to have you on here tonight. Obviously, this is the fire Zoom, just kind of wanting to hear from you. It's been a long time since we've had you on a Zoom, and just I don't know if Pamela sent you kind of just some things that I wanted you to talk about, but if you want me to ask you questions, however you want me to run it, whatever's better for you. But we really just, I think people on our team just want to be filled up a little bit and get excited about the rest of the year and what's coming in 2021. So
I love it. I love it. And we'll just kind of see where this takes us. So I'll try to keep an eye on the chat room, you guys. And, maybe something I say will breed another question, or Alyssa, if you're like, can you hit that part, or can you actually go back and redo something? Yeah, we'll just make this very casual. I love these kind of settings where we can do that. First of all, I heard something the other day and it just kind of blew my mind. I've been thinking about it since yesterday. And it was, this time of year is like two-a-days. Now, I don't know how if any of you are athletes or not, but, I think of those of you that either have or have sons or husbands that played football. There was such a thing as two-a-days, or the beginning of basketball season, two-a-days, where like one practice would be all running and it was just like, terrible. And the next one was a lot of plays and drills and whatever, and then probably more running. And when I think of this time of the year, I think of, any business has high seasons and low seasons, and we own our high seasons, right? I mean, we know that kicking off the new year, and when people have got all those New Year's resolutions, the top two are always weight loss and weight loss and make more money. But we also know this time of the year becomes more distracting. Now, hello, throw in an election, throw in a pandemic, throw in the most insane year of probably any we've ever seen. Like this is my third election with the company, but this is the nuttiest one. Like it has come with lots of interesting webs and weaves. And I say all that to say, interesting. I was cutting a podcast today, Alyssa, before I even saw your questions. I thought, man, we could have taken that podcast and just put it on this Zoom, because we really talked about just how defeating it can be sometimes to set goals and just feel like so many things are beyond your control, right? And yet we know there still is a lot in our control, but it's easy to look at the things that mess with us and allow that to be a distraction. It's a lot harder to stay focused. It's a lot harder to go, you know what? Maybe the deadline is changing on that goal, but that goal is not changing. Maybe you can look at how hard you fought for that goal. Did you allow distractions to keep you from really fighting for that goal like you should? Here's one area of my life that I know I need to be better at. I need to be better at like speaking out my goals, like so that my ear hears it, because there's actually psychology that shows that when you speak it out and your ear hears it, like you actually benefit more from hearing your own personal encouragement than hearing it from others. Isn't that interesting? And so, like I have 7 I am statements every single morning. I have about 9 goals that I write out every morning, either in past tense or it's happening present tense, and that's been a game changer for me. I wake up excited. I wake up looking forward to things. And I don't think you have to wait for January 1st to write those goals, you guys. I don't think you have to wait for January 1st to start using those I am statements. And if you haven't already started praying and asking God to position your heart for what he's got for you this year, or the areas of last year he either wants to, continue to work on or change up a little bit, I would say, don't wait any longer. Why would you not want to jumpstart the new year right now? And you can call it a new day any day. So I would say if you would have caught me on this call on Monday or Tuesday, I would have just been like, you guys, I'm just sorry. I'm just sorry that, so much has happened. Like, I don't know what day in my cycle it is, but I'm like, I don't know if Monday I was much more just like empathetic and more like, yeah, this is just hard. But today I feel different. Today I feel different. Today I feel like, no, this is preparation. Like we have every single one of you, and I don't know any of your personal goals specifically. You can definitely drop those in that chat right there, because again, there's power in putting them out there. And when the Bible says don't give your pearls to pigs, he's not saying that to these individuals here. These individuals here are going in the direction, and there's power, and not just putting it in the chat room. If you're muted, you could actually say it out loud so that your ears hear it. But I want you guys to know that wherever it is you're going, it does require process, and there's typically some part pain, because that's what makes it that much more enjoyable. I don't know if you guys saw my story this morning, but I'm literally down like 19 pounds, and I started this crazy weight loss plan on September the 23rd. And I know you guys can relate to this in the area of your business, because I've literally been saying since January 1st of last year, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Here it is, September 23rd. And if I had lost 5, I had gained it back. If I'd lost 8, I'd gained it back. You know what I mean? It was just like awful. And I'm sure you guys have read the book with Rachel Hollis, where she's like, don't make promises to yourself that you can't keep, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I was queen of making promises to myself all year long. Like, I'm going to do it. If you follow my coffee chats, I even said it there, and I just wasn't doing it. And I just said no more on the 23rd of September, and I am down 19 pounds, and I have another 7 to go, and I'm going to do it. But because that's all I'm thinking about, that's all I'm believing for, and that's all I'm working for. And it's not easy. You know, it's my birthday on Sunday, and all these people are wanting to take me to dinner. Like, you know, can we go grab a drink, whatever. And it's just like, can we do it in December? And yet it's not like come December, I'm just going to grow 30 pounds from what I've lost, you know. But again, it's just, it takes discipline, and it takes commitment. And sometimes it doesn't look like what we had thought it would look like, but I promise you, when you get to it, it will be amazing. And so 2021 has rocked collectively all of our worlds in a major way. Many of us more than others, but I will say this: don't let what comes out of this year be that you let it stop you from having what you deserve, from going after what you are worthy of and what you've been called to. And sometimes the qualification period isn't fun, and it really costs you more than you thought it was going to. But nothing is not going to cost you. Everything's going to cost you. And so it's really willing to step up and do that. So you know, I want to encourage you tonight. I want to encourage you to say, you're stronger than you think you are. Don't feel sorry for yourself. If you don't have the title, the income, or the position that you want yet, did you say, I'm going to do it by then, or I'm done? Well, then you weren't going to do it anyways, because you gave yourself a way out. But what I'm here to tell you is, if everything I put out there happened on the time frame, guys, I wouldn't be here right now. I failed so many flipping times in this business to meet a goal that I set, sometimes because of effort, but other times just because I don't know that it was God's will or the timing. But at the end of the day, like, I learned so much in the process. I would not change any of it for who I've become today. And I'm still not where I want to be. And 2021 is not at all what I thought it was going to be either. But I still believe with every fiber of my being that it works, has been, is, and will be exactly what you need it to be. You just got to stay the course, hands down. And it will require work. It will come at a cost, and it is going to be hard. But at the end of the day, we all get to pick our hard. And for me, and I know I'm putting it on weight because that's just something very current in my life, but you know, losing 30 pounds is hard, but keeping 30 pounds on is hard. And I get to decide which hard I want to live with. See what I'm saying? And you know, some of you, if you don't make the decision to press on and lean in, then this is where you're going to stay. The good news is there's comfort in knowing what that looks like, but I would say there's a whole lot less, there's a whole lot of regret in not going where you know you should be. There's never regret in trying. There's never regret in falling short. There's only like rewards in the process.
And I feel like in this business, even when you fall short, you still fall forward. Because if you push for something and you miss a goal, you're still closer than you were the week before, the month before. Like, you truly can't even fall short as long as you are moving forward. So I love that you said that kind of about not giving yourself kind of an ultimatum in the business, because I had just done a live video on someone's push page recently talking about one of the reasons that I think I've been successful and stayed so long is because I never gave myself that. Like I made decisions to go after goals and I put it out there and I didn't always hit it, but the decision to hit a goal is not an ultimatum. It wasn't, I'm going to do this or I'm done. It was always, I'm doing it. And if it didn't happen, then the goal, the deadline or whatever changed, but it was never a, if this happens, then I will stay. And I think you're right. If you have that mentality, you'll never get there because you already had your foot partially out the door ready in case you failed. And you can't do that. You have to be all in. That's good.
It's totally human nature. And, I don't know, maybe you guys can relate to this or not, but I really do look at this time of year as the 2-a-day time period. We're getting geared up. We're getting geared up for our power play, and that requires discipline, commitment, hard work. I mean, you're not just practicing 2 hours a day, you're practicing 4 to 5 hours a day. And I think that to minimally get the same results right now, you're gonna have to work twice as hard. But I also believe that you get a new person in with a new network, that can change everything. So I also believe if you believe and maybe for your goals for 2021, you add to like the last quarter of the year, I'm going to sponsor 2 of my biggest runners of the whole year to really like just boom you out of the year and into the new year. And so, I also, Alyssa, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too, but your experience, I really feel sometimes that because we have social media right in front of us all the time, we're seeing all the things that other people are doing, that it can make us feel like we're just so behind what other people are doing, or like maybe I'm the only one that's experiencing this because they look like they're not experiencing this, and I think we need to remember what we train to make your social media your highlight reel. We always tell people, like, people get in business with people that they connect to and they know and they like and they trust. And so if you're always airing your dirty laundry, you're being negative, like nobody's going to want that. So keep in mind, I mean, the best thing we can do for ourselves is focus on what we want so that we get more of what we want. But I also think that it's important for you to remember that there are good things happening in your business. And if you focus on those, that's going to expand. And so you also have those things to post about. You also have those kind of pictures to put out there, but you just have to make the decision to look for those things so you can celebrate those things, talk about those things, and more of those things are going to happen. But right now, I'd say head down. We got to grind. We got to grind these next several weeks. And I know we have Christmas. I know we have Thanksgiving, but we also have Black Friday. We also have people that if they don't wake up after the election next week, come Christmas, they're going to really be sad and broken, and they're really going to need what we, so keep planting those seeds. Keep being the person in their feed that's the positive one. Keep being the person that when they wake up one day and they decide, you know what, I've been praying for something, and that's actually probably what I've been praying for, you're going to be the first person on their mind. If you're not consistent, if you're not putting it out there, if you're not asking, maybe they told you, no, I don't want to host a post. Ask again. Ask a week from now. Don't, every day is a new day. And you never know what that day is going to bring for them. But you being consistent will keep you on the front of their mind. So don't skip a beat on that. You want to be the first person on their mind when they're ready. Now, I'm also not giving you permission not to ask. I'm not saying just post. I want you to stay in their face. And staying in their face doesn't have to look like, hey, Sam, I was just calling to see if you changed your mind yet about joining my business. It's more like, hey, Sam, I saw that your daughter had a gymnastics tournament on Saturday. Oh my gosh, she did so good, didn't she? And Sam's gonna be like, oh my gosh, thank you for noticing, right? Because people don't think anybody notices that. Do you see what I'm saying? You're staying in their face. It doesn't mean you are like that squeaky wheel that annoys the crap out of them with, will you join my business? Will you buy my skinny brew? I bet your coffee doesn't make you skinny. It doesn't have to be about that. If you're being consistent with your business on social, and then obviously you're wearing your shirt when you're out and about and they get it, you're on it, then you just being there to have that relationship and be in their face is going to be what changes everything when they're ready to say yes.
That's so good. Okay, so I wrote down a couple of things while you were talking. So
Okay.
the first thing being the comparison, like you were talking about. I've had so many conversations this week of people talking about their charts and their lack of workers and their volume and just so on and so forth. And I'm like, if I could just gather you all into one group chat so you could discuss and just say you're not alone and then move on, because I think we get so wrapped up in that person's business has to look different. They have to have more workers. They have, and we make up these stories in our heads. And all it does is distract us from the work that we need to do to get to where we want to go. That's all it is. It's a distraction. There's no point in it. It does us no good. It actually does the opposite. It takes us right away from what we're wanting. We're doing a book club with Secrets of the Millionaire Mind right now on our team. And so quite a few of the girls and guys on the Zoom are reading it right now. And we just went over the section of talking about becoming a better receiver and like kind of what that looks like, which you touched on, just like attracting the things that you want into the business and becoming a receiver of those things so that you can receive more of them. So that was really good timing because we just talked about that this week. And then I was going to touch on the 2-a-days because I had to, because I was a college athlete and we had 3-a-days in college. And just from personal experience, I love that you use that analogy because freshman year of college, I hated it. I hated 2-a-days and 3-a-days. I had blisters that would not heal. It's terrible. They do it to break you, to make you mentally tough, to obviously make you stronger. But by my senior year, I loved those weeks, not because I loved the torture or the workouts, but because I knew that's what made us win. That's why we were good, is because our coaches pushed us. And so I feel like now, not that I'm in my senior year, but now being 9 years in, I like this season. Like I've learned to love this season, even though it can be distracting, it can feel defeating at times. I love it because I know it's preparing us to win. I trust the process. And so I think for everyone on here is, we have a lot of people that have been through this season never, or maybe once, that still haven't seen the power of planting through the holidays. And so it gets me really excited because I know the people that do are going to be forever grateful that they stuck around and that they did their 2-a-days and that they continued to show up even when it was hard. So I love that analogy just because that was my life for so long.
It's true though, right? And I think that, a tanning salon, they've got their 2-a-days. It's summer. People aren't in the tanning salon. I think of gyms. When's their 2-a-days? I'm sure it's around the holidays, and I'm sure there's summertime too, all things have their 2-a-days, but those are the times where we prepare. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be planting, you guys. That's not what I'm saying at all. But sometimes planting looks different in different seasons. It certainly could be a time you're revamping some things, but it should be, especially when you're planting, especially when you're connecting, especially when you're doing the things to plant the seeds, so that when, if they're not aware now, we know a transition is coming, and when it does, they're going to be ready for this, and you want to make sure you're the first person that comes to their mind. That's just the bottom line. And I'm not saying that people aren't signing. Again, remember what I said, your dream board this year, your goal should be like, maybe it's I'm doing my steps of success for the whole year, which means for 12 months, that's 36 people. And you say the 6 best people that I sign up of the whole year are coming into my business the last quarter of this year. Like where you're really putting it out there that you're going to get some of those new people, because we know what comes with a new person, a new network. And a new network could be somebody that goes, that's where sometimes magic happens, right? Like that's where all of a sudden somebody goes from like distributor to diamond in 90 days, or they go from distributor to double or triple in a record amount of time, and you're just like, how did that happen? Why can't I repredict? There's just something about that warm market, and the warm market doesn't even have to be people they're actually doing life with right now. They've just done life with them at some point. And so I think those are a couple of perspectives. But then, as you guys continue to plant seeds, this is also the year to get focused. They're the time of year to get focused on what 2021 is going to do for you. And the only person that can do that is you. The only person that can, write down those 7 to 10 goals. And I say 7 to 10 because 30 is far too many. It's way too many. We can't do that well. And so we overestimate what we can do in 1 year. We underestimate what we can do in 5 to 10. Write down 7 to 10 goals. And if you need to do something to make it fun, set an alarm for 3 minutes. 7 to 10 goals, that's all you get. First thing that come to your mind, and when you get to 10, you're done. And then for 30 days, I want you to write down those goals. I want you to write down those goals. And here's the deal. I want you to write them down on a piece of paper. And the next day, you don't get to go back and refer. You have to do it from memory. There's something about the recall and psychology that helps to bring that from this back of your brain to the front of your brain. And there's just something about when you know that you know that you know. You guys, I'm on day like 7 of doing this right now for my goals for next year. You know, I wake up in the morning and what seems so scary and completely terrifying the first day, like, how is that ever going to happen? I can't tell anybody that goal. They're going to laugh at me, you know, like things like that, the things that you think about. Today, I'm like, oh, that's happening. Like, that's done. And I'm only on day 6, and that's where I'm at already. And so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write those 7 to 10 goals on Post-it notes all over the house. You know why? Because I want to see them and say them out loud and say them back to myself. But more importantly, I want my kids to see them. I want my kids to do that. I think the most incredible thing about what we do in this business is we're chasing our own dreams. Yes, we're inspiring our team, but we are inspiring our babies. And who on here are mamas? Yes. Okay. Landon was 9 months old when I started. So Alyssa, do not think for a second that your little one is not already noticing things, because my buddy, he does. And he says all the time, Mom, thank you for what you do for us. Mom, can we do this? Mom, can we do that? And you know it's because of what we do right here. And so I'm going to continue to lay eggs on their brains. Before you know it, they're going to have Post-it notes up of the things that they want, you know? And that's what I'm looking for. So do that for yourself. Do that for yourself because it's already very close to 2021. So you need to get clear about that. And the more you write that down day after day, you're going to get so crystal clear on those goals. And they're going to be moved from being just like kind of a thought to like, it's happening, right? And that's how you get really clear about that.
You better be careful. You're going to have Christmas lists for Santa on Post-it notes all over your house.
Oh, I know. It is funny, the things like Skylar Skylar pulled out the board in, I want to say it was August, and was like, are we going to do our dream board? And I'm thinking, we can do another dream board. I'm fine with that, you know, but she was the one that was like, oh no, we're doing a dream board. And it sits in my office. It's right there. But some of the things that were on it, I was like,
oh man, that's awesome. Okay, so speaking of goals and dream boards and whatnot, I kind of want to turn a little bit to, we have a lot of people that have been, like we talked about, staring at the same goal for months and months and months. They keep putting it out there. And a conversation I've been having a lot is kind of throwing out what you keep staring at and finding a goal for the next, 60, 90 days that you actually want to work towards. Because I think, especially speaking to, leaders or people that have been in for a while, I think sometimes we just beat the same chart over and over, and we forget to look up and realize that we can redirect. We are our own boss, that we can change our goal at any time, or we can change who's going to take us to that goal. And I think sometimes we just stare at that chart so long that we don't see it. And so I've been telling several of my leaders to look at their chart and find people to work with that will excite them to wake up in the morning, that is going to because I think when you don't do that, when you are, working with a chart where maybe you don't have a lot of workers, or you're having to fill in volume under boxes over and over again, or whatever you're doing that's just, killing you, we start to resent the chart. We start to resent the team. We start to resent the business. We start, building up all of these feelings that are not real. They turn into excuses. But giving yourself permission to let go of some things and work in a new direction, because I think sometimes we actually hit our goals faster when we do that than dragging along the same chart. So I don't know if you have anything to speak towards that, or just kind of talk to those people that need to kind of just set a different goal, not change the dream board,
right,
but change the way they're working, if that makes sense.
Well, so here's the thing. I'm just going to take something super practical. Let's say double diamond is our dream, or is our goal. It's our next goal. And that's, remind me, $25,000, right? Or is that $15,000? Can someone remind me how much that is for, I know, right? Oh, and sometimes I still live under the old comp plan qualifiers, but okay. Long story, 15,000.
15
Okay.
to hit it, yeah.
All right, so 15,000 double diamond. So I'm gonna be double diamond this month. Yeah, team double diamond. We're a double diamond team. Let's do this. We're going double diamond. All right, woo! Next month, guys, just shy, but we're closer. Let's do this. Double diamond, going double diamond. Who's diamond? Who's emerald? All right, great. Woo! I had my diamond, I had my emerald, but I didn't have my $15,000. Or so it's that same miss mentality. How about this? How about you find out what you need and break it down to rubies? We need. Guys, my goal this month is we're building 5 new rubies on this team. And if you know, a ruby roughly on average brings in what, $2,000? Is that what it is? Then that's $10,000, and that gets you to. So I think you can also break it down into bite-sized, smaller goals that can take you to that goal. The goal never changes. The deadline sometimes does, and the way in which you cast vision for the goal and put it out there can evolve to keep it fun and exciting, to bring other people along. The other thing I think too often is we make it about ourselves instead of rallying the team and finding out. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with saying, this is a double diamond team, because I really believe where there's vision, that's where people, flourish. And so I think that's part of vision. But I also think we got to be careful when it's just our goal and it's not being thoughtful of the other people that are running with us. We got to make sure that we're not putting our goals on them. Again, I do believe there's a gift in having vision and in people being a part of that tide rising. But I think sometimes when it's a massive goal, you do have to break it down into small size pieces to really get the team winning, to roll into that next, which is going to get you that much closer to your goal. So that's what I would say. I would also be very transparent about lessons learned. All right. Lessons learned in the process. That's called a think aloud. And there's no greater gift you can give your team than the lessons you're learning in the season and in the process that could save them time later. So there's that too. But I would just say change how you attack the goal. Right. I really think that can be a different method, and especially like, okay, if double diamond's your thing and you keep saying double diamond, but you don't still have the diamond, you still don't have the emerald, maybe this month it's like, we are a double diamond team and this team is going diamond. These are, like you're just breaking it down in different ways. And I think that can provide a different flavor and a lot more fun. But again, it gives you the ability to measure and to track your results. I love what like people say who are into paying off debt. If you don't know what your debt is to the penny, then you're not serious about paying it off, And so I think the same is true with the goal. And the more we can make more measurable bite-sized wins for people, the more they're going to rally.
And I think sometimes we need the bite-sized wins too. Like we keep putting double diamond. Well, it gets to a point in your business where you can't make a double diamond promotion happen. It is a team effort at certain levels. Right. So having a bite-sized goal that you feel like you can control. Because I know there have been seasons of my business where I keep putting a big goal out there, but I go through the motions of not really knowing what I'm setting out to do. And we should always have a goal that at the end of the month we can be proud of, regardless of whether the big goal was hit or not. We also have a really big team of yellows. And I think that sometimes even yellows get caught up in their big goal and they forget really what brings them a lot of joy is seeing their team hit their goals. So even
it can suck the life right out of you.
Yeah.
Especially if you're yellow. Oh my gosh, right? If you're making it about you. Most people think I'm a red, but you guys, I'm a closet yellow. Like I'm a hardcore yellow. And I always am like a competitor. I'm a big time competitor, but I also am not a cutthroat competitor. But for me, it was just like, okay, me winning means all these other people are going to win. And that's really flipping exciting for a yellow, right? To help and know all these other people are winning. I was going to say something to you, Alyssa, too, because when I was going ambassador, I wanted to be the first ambassador, but I was the second. And I remember after I wanted to make the 30, because at first it was like, I just need to be able to replace my teaching income. Then it was like, wow, couldn't even imagine if I could make a teaching income in a month rather than just a whole year. And then it was like, I went ambassador, and okay, mind you guys, no other position in the company, and wouldn't be another position in the company for years. There was no anybody doing anything that was like, ooh, I want to be like them. I had to make those goals for myself. And so one of the things I wanted was a level which would, in my heart, tell me this was the best company there was. Nobody had done it. I had not seen anybody in our company do it. And sometimes part of the plan is you got to see it so much in here, take it from here to here, that there's nothing that will stop you. And so maybe it hasn't been something that looks, but that's again where you guys, if you really do that 30-day thing where you're like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and then you break it down so you get wins, so you continue to stay passionate about that goal, you know, that's going to be a game changer for you. But realize not every goal we actually see it manifested in other people. Sometimes it's right in here, and God put it in our heart, not because he planned to birth it in anybody else but you. And so that's something to keep in mind too.
So good. I'm not going to keep you on much longer because I know you probably have other Zooms and stuff to be on. The last thing that I'd love for you to touch on is just the importance of evolving and like reinventing yourself in the business. Because I know you obviously were in the field for a long time. The business changes, the industry changes, social media changed everything. So just kind of like not limiting yourself on what you're willing to learn or do to build your business. I'd love for you to touch on that.
I feel like you just read my Facebook post that I put out today.
I didn't. I'm going.
Let me just paint a little picture for you today. Okay, number one, I don't even wear makeup, you guys. Like I'm not a makeup wearer. If you see me with lashes and brows, that's because I pay to get those done, and then I don't feel bad about never wearing makeup. And this whole world of social media makes me want to, because I hate the like beautiful pictures and the posing. I am not a poser. I don't stand in front of the mirror and be like, oh yeah, that's so cute. Okay, so today we're doing a photo shoot, and I'm literally like, I hate it. And I'm like, what am I doing right now? I cannot believe I'm doing this. You guys, this is me being just very candid with you right now. And I literally walk out of the photo shoot today and I say to the girl who helps me for social media, I was like, I can't live like this. I was like, I can't live like this. I hate this. I am not a poser like this. I don't know how to model. You guys are always moving my hands around, and like, this is just not me. If I don't have like a 7-person entourage to help me do these things, I have a 2-year-old fit in the middle of the session. And like, the reality is it took me back to when I joined this business, and I literally, I'll never forget when Pam was like, guess what? We're going to do parties. I was like, I ain't doing parties. There will be no parties happening right here, you know? And then next thing you know, I'm doing parties. And then the next thing you know, we're on social. And then the next thing you know, there's Instagram. And I'm like, no, I do Facebook. You know, like I'm a Facebook girl. And next thing you know, I'm on Instagram. You guys, I'm telling you, like, it is not, you should reinvent yourself. It's like, no, you either get on board or it will leave you behind, because the world is changing so much. And probably exactly what you say you're not going to do is exactly what you're going to do, because it's just part of continuing to take yourself up to that next level. And I'm not saying that I need to be an influencer on social media to be good at this business, but I do need to embrace social media. I do need to embrace what the algorithms like help and what they don't help, you know. But I really believe that no matter what we're doing, we can absolutely put our personality to it. And I will say, TikTok and Reels, the fact that those of you that are doing a reel a day or 3 TikToks a day are probably killing it with recruits right now is mind-blowing to me, because I can only imagine how many people that started with us in one place in this business are going, I didn't sign up for that. But that's where we've evolved to, you know. And honestly, you guys, I mean, things are always going to change, and it might be this with us, but it's happening that way everywhere. I can only imagine what being a teacher looks like today compared to where I started, you know. And so things are always going to evolve and change, and you've got to be willing to embrace change. And so I love that you asked me that question, because here's the deal, you guys, try new things. You're going to love things more than others. The fact that you get to put your personality to it will serve you well. And I'm just saying, just try it. Just try it. One thing I try to do on a regular basis, like at least once a month, I try to do something brand spanking new. something new every month, because it's a great way to flex the muscle of getting outside your comfort zone, putting yourself out there and being willing to try new things.
So good. That's perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. I was the same. No parties for me when I started. And there I was like 3 weeks in doing parties. And I would still say that's not something that I love to do. But you know what? I just look at everything of, if this will sign me the next person to take me to the next level, I would do it in a heartbeat. So I just treat everything that way. Like, why not do reels and TikToks? Like, you're not going to see me like doing any sorts of crazy dances on there, but I can find a way to make it work for me. And if it's working for other people, I'm not going to pass it up. I've done that with other things in this business, and I'm not willing to chance it.
That's so good. That is so good. You guys, you know, and some of you may not even know this, we called them pop-up shops recently. But you guys, I mean, early on in my business, doing mostly parties, I would do vendor events too. There was 2 years in my business where I traveled all over the United States doing like $1,000 vendor events minimum. Some were $3,000 to $5,000. Spend the whole weekend, drive there, drive home, fly there, fly home. It was nuts, but it was just another thing. And I remember talking to some of my team at the beginning, and I think we could say it now, it's just different, but we said we would have tried everything and anything to get this to work because we believed in it so much. The same is still true today. You have to be willing to try new things, because you can't keep doing the same old thing and get new results. You got to try new things to get to new places. Now, the minute COVID lifts and quarantine, you better believe I'd be back in people's living rooms. I'd be back in community centers and hotel rooms, because I believe in the power of proximity so much. But look at all we've learned also in the process. Look at all the additional things that we've now equipped ourselves with also, which makes us just that much more effective. So yeah, it's not a, are you going to reinvent yourself? It's no, how often are you going to reinvent yourself? How often are you going to try new things? And be careful what you say you won't do, because guess what? All of a sudden, that's what you will be doing.
So good. And I feel like if 2020 is proof of anything, it's that anything can change at any time. So you just have to roll with the punches in this business and you have to go for it. But like you said, you don't have to wait for January 1st. Like, anything can change at any time. And no matter what season you're in and what valley you find yourself in, like, you can be on any point of the mountaintop at any time, any month, any holiday. It doesn't matter, because anything truly can change at any time when you make the decision for it. So I appreciate you so much for spending so much time with us tonight and sharing all your wisdom. I know the chat was blowing up. I'm sure I'll be getting lots of messages after this, but we just appreciate you so much. You look amazing.
Thank you.
No,
I got home and I wiped off every bit of makeup except for my eyes, because you know what? I can make that last for like 2 days.
Yep.
So that'll look good for like 2 days.
Usually I'm wearing yesterday's makeup, and then I wake up and I still feel like, it's okay. I'll just leave it.
Don't move.
And then I woke up today and realized I'd showered last night, and I looked in the mirror after dropping Jax off at school, and I was like, whoa, what happened? Usually I'm wearing yesterday's makeup. So that's a fun surprise. But we do appreciate you so much for being on here. We're super excited for the next couple of months. We have some fun things planned for our team to crush it through the holidays. And a lot of us are going to Galveston. There's about 40 of us in beach houses for conference. So
I cannot, that's amazing. You will be so happy you did that. And I'm really proud of you guys for putting that together. Listen, tag me in your ahas on Facebook, on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you on that. And I'm excited to keep rooting for you as you close up the year.
Cami wants to see your best poses. Tag her.
I do.
All right, guys. Thank you for being on here. Bye, Cami. Bye, everyone. Thanks for jumping on.